Hi and welcome to Talking Shop. This is EKM's look at the world of e-commerce news. I'm Mike from the marketing team and this is Jessie.
Hello.
And let's have a look at the top stories for August.
With the online sales tax consultation now closed, what can we expect and will it happen anytime soon? Consumers still leaning towards online shopping despite cost of living crisis. UK e-commerce brands cite shipping costs as biggest risk to growth. Online retail sales fall due to women's zero win and summer heatwave. And why retailers should integrate text into marketing channels.
Okay, let's start and let's get this out of the way with this online sales tax that's been, I think we've covered it about 3 or 4 times. The consultation period for any sort of suggestions of what might make this work are over. Basically, this is the government's way of trying to balance the scales between online retail flourishing and high streets suffering and becoming quite derelict and a lot of empty premises and that sort of thing. So over COVID you had business tax relief, business rate relief, so you weren't paying as much on your properties, your physical bricks and mortar store. So now this is a way of looking at how you can the government can permanently and sort of sustainably do that. So the consultation period is over, so we haven't got any latest news on it. It's just that what will happen next. Now this is very much been fronted and pushed on by Rishi Sunak, who was then Chancellor of the Exchequer, who's now, as we talk about this and all the way through August actually, you've got the Conservative leadership competition, which Rishi Sunak is going against Liz Truss. So I guess that also plays a bit of a role in it. Who wins that? Will they implement this? Rishi, you would very much think that he would. Will Liz Truss? Will she be meddling with taxes, which doesn't seem like something she really wants to get involved with? She's sort of the other, I guess, more libertarian sort of approach to things. So we will keep you posted, but as yet, that is it now. There's no more consultation about it. When will it happen? How quickly will it happen? What will it be? Will hopefully be the next thing we bring you on this.
Stay tuned for next one.
Done. Anyway, right, looking at money, it seems to be all that's in the news at the moment. Consumers are still leaning towards online shopping despite our cost of living crisis. Now, I guess when you sort of think of stuff like crisis, cost of living, that sort of thing, and people, when you see these historical moments of like depressions and all that sort of thing economically, you see people with wheelbarrows and they're trying to get their bread off a man at a shop. With this sort of sense that I don't think we're leaning towards anything like that. But equally, if people are looking to sort of buy cheap options of stuff, they are leaning towards looking at online shopping, which for us as e-commerce companies is a plus.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking of I'm going to pull back my purse strings, I'm going to sort of look for discount options, and do you automatically think I will go to the shop because it's there, it's in the discount sort of aisle, or do you think I'll hit the online shops and I can contrast and compare?
Yeah. For me, it's online because when I'm online shopping, I can price compare more easily. I mean, a simple Google search will pull up anybody who's having a sale, and they'll have that price highlighted on the Google Shopping. Things like groceries, you can very easily compare which store is going to have the best cost. And also, I don't have to get in the car and go anywhere, so I'm not wasting diesel, which is obviously going up with the cost of everything. So for me, convenience-wise, price-wise, online is still reigning supreme.
So there's some stark stats here. Research reveals that 17% of consumers are struggling financially and 35% are just getting by. However, only 8% said they were looking to shop more on the high street, with 22% anticipate to shop online more frequently in the future, which means that obviously that they've got a lot of faith in trying to find cheaper deals online, and they've got used to that process of sort of bargain hunting online, while as sort of before you would find people sort of going through sort of discount shops and maybe go to bulk buy stores and what have you. So that is interesting, and it's something to think about, dependent obviously of course on your product, but looking at those sales tactics, looking at making sure that your markup is competitive, and maybe making a little bit more of a thing of sort of discount and taking in obviously that we've all heard about a million times recently, that cost of living crisis sort of element of things.
And I think free shipping, I think I mentioned it as well, is a big draw for people. So if that is something that you offer, just make sure it's communicated clearly so people know that, you don't need to drive to the shops, you can just order from me and I'll deliver it to you.
Yeah, exactly. And you make a good point about fuel and how much that costs and getting around the place as well. Which brings us on to UK e-commerce brands are citing shipping costs as the biggest risk to growth. Obviously, that's a huge part of this because, as we know, when you've got so many elements that go into, making profit in e-commerce, and one of those being fulfillment and getting the product either to yourself, if you're sending out a product out to customers, or shipping that product to the customer themselves as well. So we've got over the next 12 months, 48% of UK brands selling consumer goods said rising shipping costs was the most critical factor. And when we look at things about sort of governments intervening in this cost of living crisis, obviously you want to keep prices down in the shops, so therefore, helping retail and commerce is essential. So that'd be something that whoever is next in the prime ministerial role will be looking at. Apparently, in addition, 42% cited reduced consumer spending and 36% said post-Brexit red tape on EU shipments posed a key risk. We've all seen these massive tailbacks at Dover and all this sort of red tape, and I went abroad a couple of times. I don't know if you noticed the town, but it is a little bit different. Whether it's the crisis that people make it out, you can make your own mind up, but you do get to even when you go to a European Union country now, it is still just a slightly longer process where you have to get stamped. You have to, and they check how long you've been, or whether this is the first time you're entering the country, whether you're coming back, how many days have you been in the country. So there is that that difference. Something we spoke about on a couple of episodes ago as well was Americans interested in UK goods. And one of the more concerning things is the cost of shipping a shoebox-sized parcel to America rose by nearly a third since May 2021, from £15.73 on average to £20.56, which is like almost a fiver. Which when that's a large spike, particularly when you're thinking, well, what is the margin of what you're working with?
Yeah, and it does make it difficult because there is that market in the US that's really interested in products that are coming from the UK, but as the shipping goes up and up and up, and what the difference between what $1 is worth and what a pound is worth is make it really difficult for consumers abroad to want to shop from UK online shops.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's another thing on the pile of things that are concerning us, I guess, at the moment. We are going to try and bring you some happy news. This isn't it. Although I find stuff like this really fascinating when people say about whether significant events affect particularly retail and people's behaviours.
I find it fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So this one's specifically talking about how the effect of the Women's Euro win on online sales and also the heat wave on online sales.
So obviously there's been negative growth. There was negative growth 3 out of the 4 weeks in July. And the 1 week where it was up was in the week leading up to the hottest day. So that was up 5.8%, whereas you had a decline of 5.4% in the other weeks, which is interesting because that is in the lead up to the hottest day and the Women's Euros as well. So it sort of is saying that these there's a lot of talk about climate and that sort of thing, that people are almost panic buying to suit that sort of that massive change in weather. They're either going luxury items like barbecues, maybe they've gone back and bought the paddling pool or hot tub that they wanted during the pandemic.
An aircon unit.
Aircon unit, well,
I've not done it yet, but it's on the list.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
You miss the aircon of the United States that much?
Oh
that
gosh, yeah.
It was the first time, I think, because it was so warm, wasn't it, that I really did sort of understand how hot countries is just, you couldn't live without air conditioning, could you?
Definitely.
You just
You've got
wouldn't
to have
function.
that air circulation. Not to get too off topic, but definitely recommend having an aircon. In the winter when you go outside.
Yeah, and oh god, would an aircon unit be cheaper than central heating the way we do it? If you had a gas-run boiler?
Well, an aircon doesn't heat, it cools. And your
But
boiler won't cool.
it levels the temperature though, doesn't it? It can heat, it regulates the temperature inside.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm unsure. I'm not sure.
Any energy experts that would like to come on, then please do get in touch. I am actually interested as well.
But like you said, it's items like that, those sort of seasonal luxury items that people are going to be preparing themselves for the summer, for the heat wave, and just logging on to buy those sorts of things. And also the Women's Euros, probably quite a lot of people having viewing parties or having people over for those. So those sorts of things do drive sales.
Yeah. That's the thing. I don't think we've got it here, but it'll be interesting to see. You always get these sort of statistics around huge, massive events like the World Cups and Women's Euros, and whether in that period of time that match was on, how much things really did go down, like in that couple of hours. And what is the knock-on effect? Because you always think these macro things. You go, how could it possibly affect? They'll just buy it some other time. But if you do just lose that impulse and you lose that 2 hours of someone who would usually not be watching something on TV, they would be maybe mindlessly scrolling.
Yeah.
It is quite a significant amount of time to lose of trade, particularly if you work in large quantities. So, so it's one of those things that as we look towards these sort of extreme climates that we seem to be sort of building towards, or things just getting a little bit hotter, a little bit colder, and that sort of thing, thinking about being, I guess, reactive. If there's hot weather, if you have some sort of products that fit that, or there's going to be a big demand, it's sort of in your marketing, sort of being really on it in that regard and checking the weather a bit more than we usually would, because we'd usually just write it off so much in this country, wouldn't we? Like, it doesn't really matter what the weather is, it's going to be rubbish no matter what. Anyway, we are going to finish on a little bit of a plus, a little bit of a tip. I found this quite interesting, and then it made me think about my own habits and how I receive marketing, what have you. So why retailers should integrate text into marketing channels. How many texts do you think you get? I would say on average a week, but you might not even get one a week.
Marketing text.
Marketing text.
Probably at least 1 or 2 a week.
Okay.
I would say. Domino's. I can't tell you the last time I actually bought a Domino's, but I do get the 2 for Tuesday every week.
It's embedded. Well, maybe whether the marketing message got through on that. I think the only thing that I receive via text message now, and not WhatsApp, is marketing messages.
Yeah. Well,
marketing messages and telling me my bill is ready.
Stuff like that, yeah. That's true. Yeah, I would say definitely. And family in America communicates via text rather than WhatsApp. But like you said, if you were to look through my history, it's probably a delivery notification from I don't know, every Domino's notification. So yeah. But it's definitely becoming a lot more common. And I know the article mentions that people actually do prefer it. I'm not sure. Yeah,
I'm not sure if people prefer it.
If I buy in on that.
I feel like it has more impact on me because it's less clutter.
Yeah, I think it says in the article, I'm sure it's like 90% open. 90% of people open it within 3 seconds or something.
3 minutes,
like
3 minutes of seeing it, which is still very good.
Within 3 minutes, which is insane. You're never going to get that with email.
Yeah.
So, like you said, because it's not cluttered. So if more people lean towards the text messaging as a route, then is that going to change? I don't know.
Yeah, you would never allow your text message inbox to get to the amount of emails.
People that do.
Really? Oh, so I've got about 1,300 emails or something like that aren't read in my email.
I've seen.
Really?
Personally, no, I couldn't see more than like 500 messages from text. That would stress me out. But have you ever seen a screenshot of somebody and you can see it says like 500 and some odd?
No, I always think that's email, but not text.
Yeah, so there are those people.
What sort of animal does that?
And if that's the case, Mike is judging you.
Yeah.
But no, I think on the whole, people are more likely to read and clear their text message box because, like you said, it's not as overwhelming. There's not as much coming through right now.
Format-wise, as well, you're stuck on.
Yeah.
It is just text.
Yeah.
It's text and a link.
Text and a link, and it has to be short, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you could send a long one, but kind of the format of it is just supposed to be a quick, we've got a sale on, here's the code, and a link. That's it. And I think that's really effective. It's just getting it down to what is the message. And cutting out all the rest.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I just want to say this where the research is from. According to new research from Wunderkind, surveying over 2,000 consumers, approximately 84% say they find it the most convenient channel for communicating with retailers during the buying journey. Have you ever text?
See, that line confused me. Is it a two-way communication? Are they talking about companies that have WhatsApp enabled for like communication?
Well, this is the new thing,
Because because that is become, yeah, so that I wasn't exactly sure what they were referring to there with communicating with. Maybe it's just a weird phrasing of receiving communication from.
1/3 say they now find text just as convenient, and 6% increase year on year. So yeah, it's saying via text message. So maybe they, I mean, that sort of suggests that it's not large retailers that they're dealing with. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've never just text EasyJet when my flight was cancelled, or text Tesco going, "Where you at home? where's my groceries, babe?" I don't think I've ever done that, but if that's the way you communicate with your consumers, then go for it.
But it does sort of say at the end of the article, and I think this is what you can drill it down to, is meeting your customers where they're at. So
yes.
Not everybody is going to want to receive text message notifications, not everyone's going to want to receive email notifications, but having the option to do either based on what your specific customers want to subscribe to. Can't hurt.
Yeah, and there is the rise of. I remember quite a while ago there was a real rise. It seemed to fall off a little bit of communicating with your customers via Facebook Messenger. That was quite a big thing for a while. It all integrated, and as soon as I once bought a pair of shoes and it all integrated, so the whole transaction happened over Facebook Messenger at the same time as I was doing it. Yeah, it was a bit weird actually, but you could message them. But like you say, meet your customers where they are. That's our tip for this month. Right, we'll be back again with more e-commerce news, hopefully of a more feel-good nature, but that's just the way the world is at the moment. But we'll keep persevering and stiff up the lip and get stuck in. We also have some really amazing other series as well here at Ecom that you might want to check out on our YouTube channel, including EKM Unboxed. We always mention this, but we really like doing it, and it's a brilliant little watch, sort of some tips and tricks on what to do and how to package your products that you're sending out to your customers. So give that a watch. We'll put the link there. Until next time, see ya.